Paul Heyman turns on the Vision. Controversial backstage stories WWE doesn't want you to know. Becky Lynch leaks it was terrible working with a former WWE star. Vince McMahon wanted Vladimir Putin in WWE. Andrade reveals the WWE is yet to sign off on his contract. CM Punk addresses Drew McIntyre, bringing AJ Lee's name in a WWE storyline. ESPN president gives his honest opinion on WWE's partnership. Backstage reaction to Brock Lesnar's embarrassing fall. Roman Reigns is jealous of Paul Heyman. Let's dive right in. Controversial backstage stories WWE doesn't want you to know. WWE has managed to build its global empire on iconic characters, sold-out arenas, and decades of unforgettable entertainment. However, behind the cameras, the locker room hasn't always been the glamorous world the company portrays on TV. Numerous backstage stories have already become some of the biggest controversies in the industry, while others are still not widely known. While the company might want to keep some of these controversies hidden, it might not be able to do so for much longer. Let's check out a few controversies that the company doesn't want fans to know about. Number 1. JBL's locker room harassment. While JBL is undoubtedly a pioneer in the wrestling industry, he has not been the perfect locker room leader. Numerous reports describe him targeting young wrestlers with intimidation, insults, and invasive pranks that seemingly pushed far beyond acceptable boundaries as well. Several former stars claimed that JBL used his seniority to embarrass rookies, sometimes doing so in shared shower areas, which has sparked its own massive controversy. WWE Hall of Famer Edge revealed this in his book, leaving fans stunned after knowing the truth. Number 2. Alberto Del Rio slapped a racist employee. Alberto Del Rio's WWE exit remains one of the most polarizing decisions the company has ever made. The real reason behind his exit was that a staff member made a racist joke toward Del Rio, prompting the former world champion to slap him backstage. Instead of addressing the alleged abuse, WWE chose to release Del Rio, while the employee reportedly faced no serious consequences. This incident sparked controversy in its own right, but the company has never tried to address it publicly. However, the story remains known to millions around the world and will never be removed from the history books. Number 3. The infamous food tampering prank against Sunny. During the mid-1990s, Tammy Sunny Sitch was one of WWE's most recognizable figures, yet she became a target of one of the most surprising stories ever reported from behind the scenes. During the company's European tour, someone allegedly tampered with her meal by taking a dump on it as part of a so-called locker room prank. This ended up being one of the most talked about controversies in the company's history, and fans clearly hated the idea as well. While the identity of the star who pulled the prank remains unknown, this controversy will hardly ever be omitted by fans when listing the biggest backstage controversies. Number 4. A male WWE star used to blacklist females for a surprising reason. Becky Lynch dropped a bombshell backstage story recently, leaving the world talking. The former women's champion revealed that a male star used to blacklist women at his discretion. The star would try to sleep with the females backstage, and would blacklist them if he got to sleep with the star. Not only that, but if a female disagreed to sleep with him, he would blacklist those stars as well. While the identity of the star was not revealed, this undoubtedly found its place among the most controversial backstage stories in WWE's rich history. Becky Lynch leaks it was terrible working with a former WWE star. Becky Lynch recently shared why working with a former WWE star was a terrible experience. The man will be in action in a marquee match this Saturday at WWE Survivor Series 2025. Big-time Bex defeated Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair in the main event of WrestleMania 35. Following her victory at the Show of Shows, Lynch got into a rivalry with former WWE superstar Lacey Evans. Speaking with popular comedian Bert Kreischer on the Something's Burning show, Lynch claimed it was terrible to go from main eventing WrestleMania to working with Evans because she hadn't done anything in the business at that point. I start working with Lacey Evans right out the gate. God bless her, but she wasn't. For me to go from the main event of WrestleMania to somebody who hadn't done anything was terrible, she said. Becky Lynch will be teaming up with the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, Nia Jax, and Lash Legend to battle Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and AJ Lee in the Women's War Games match at Survivor Series this weekend. Raw star Becky Lynch has been accusing WWE of being corrupt since she lost the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Maxine Dupree defeated the veteran earlier this month on Raw to capture the title after AJ Lee provided a distraction. Lynch claimed referee Jessica Carr was corrupt following the match for not counting Dupree out and demanded an investigation into the matter. Becky Lynch was robbed, a true champion, and that referee, Jessica Carr, people are saying very corrupt, looked very, very suspicious. Terrible calls, bad judgment, not even counting. Maybe she was too busy thinking about being a star. People are saying the finish was a complete mess. Horrible! Fans deserve better. Huge injustice. We must investigate, she wrote. AJ Lee and CM Punk defeated Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins in a mixed tag team match at WrestlePalooza 2025. Rollins suffered an injury at Crown Jewel and recently had to relinquish the World Heavyweight Championship. CM Punk won the title by defeating Jey Uso at Saturday night's main event earlier this month. It will be interesting to see what WWE has planned for the rivalry between Lee and Lynch in the weeks ahead. Vince McMahon wanted Vladimir Putin in WWE. Vince McMahon often aimed to break new heights in WWE when he was in charge and the sole owner. Recently, Lana revealed that the former CEO really wanted Vladimir Putin to attend one of the shows. In 2014, Rusev became a staple on the main roster under Vince McMahon's creative leadership and proudly supported Russia as the United States champion. While the storyline ended when John Cena won the title, Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, was often mentioned and even showcased on the Titantron as the Bulgarian brute paid his respects. In an interview with TMZ's Inside the Ring, Lana, aka CJ Perry, revealed that most of her promo was written by Vince McMahon, and the former CEO wanted Vladimir Putin to attend one of his shows. She also added that Mr. McMahon really hoped that Putin would have shown up. Vince McMahon just could identify more with Putin because, Vince is lifting 650 pounds, At 75, he is squatting. It's like, you're a maniac. He wanted Vladimir Putin to come to a show. He's like, I hope he's going to come, Lana said. After losing to John Cena at WrestleMania 31, Rusev and Lana continued as an act on WWE's main roster and even addressed Russia in a few instances. However, the duo received a complete makeover in the coming year, and the management discussed bringing up the Bulgarian brute's past motivations on television. In the same interview with TMZ's Inside the Ring, Lana, aka CJ Perry, revealed that when Donald Trump became the president of the United States in 2016, McMahon decided to no longer do the foreigner gimmick with Rusev and Lana, as it was too political. Trump and McMahon are well versed with each other, and the two previously feuded in the Stanford-based promotion. It'll be interesting to see what's next for Rusev and WWE under the new regime. Andrade reveals the WWE is yet to sign off on his contract. Andrade El Idolo is finally speaking out, and his side of the story paints a much messier picture than fans expected. After reports surfaced claiming he could be blocked from wrestling for up to a year due to an alleged contract breach, Andrade has now confirmed that WWE did enforce a 12-month non-compete clause, and he says it happened after he showed up in AEW. During an interview with Los Protagonistas, Andrade laid out the timeline, his frustrations, and how the situation became even more complicated due to his divorce from Charlotte Flair. Andrade explained that his original return to WWE in 2023 was motivated by being closer to his then-wife. But once things fell apart personally, the professional situation became even more strained. I returned to WWE a year and a half ago. I was happy earning millions, but I was married. My ex-wife's name is Charlotte Flair, and the idea was to return to WWE to be with her, and many things happened. We got divorced, and I was not comfortable in some things. He also admitted he received a warning over medications and supplements that are allowed in Mexico, but restricted under WWE's wellness rules. We have certain restrictions because of doping and things like that. I was also a little annoyed. Andrade says WWE agreed to his release on good terms, until he reappeared in AEW. That's when he claims WWE suddenly enforced a clause his lawyer missed. The contract I signed, the lawyer did not realize a clause of 12 months without competition. At first I didn't have clause, I could fight leaving WWE. Then the clause came when they saw me debut in AEW. He revealed that because he shared a lawyer with Charlotte Flair at the time, he can no longer use that attorney, leaving him even more vulnerable to the contract language he says he didn't fully understand. With new legal representation, Andrade is now negotiating directly with WWE to shorten the enforced inactivity period. He says the year-long clause is being actively renegotiated. I'm going to be 3 months inactive and I can't compete worldwide. My lawyers are already talking to the WWE lawyers. They have reached a good arrangement. I think I have a date and my lawyer too, but it remains for WWE to officially sign it. He also acknowledged that while he could take the fight to court, the process could take longer and cost significantly more than negotiating a settlement. We can fight, we can go to court, but the lawyers told me the process may be longer. They are trying to negotiate so as not to go to court. For now, Andrade says he's keeping his routine simple while he waits for WWE to finalize the agreement. Well, now it's nothing more than getting ready, waking up, having dinner, training, going to the beach, sunbathing, more than anything not thinking about that. Whether Andrade returns in a month, a week, or longer is entirely in WWE's hands, and until they officially sign off, his in-ring future remains on pause. CM Punk addresses Drew McIntyre bringing AJ Lee's name in a WWE storyline. WWE fans know that CM Punk and AJ Lee are a husband and wife duo, and they are the epitome of relationship goals for so many. That being said, it was hard to keep them off WWE programming together. CM Punk used an appearance on ESPN's This Just In to speak directly about his issues with Drew McIntyre ahead of WWE Survivor Series War Games. Near the end of the segment, the host asked Punk which War Games participant he hates the most. Punk didn't hesitate at all in his response. Punk did not hold back. He not only called the Scottish warrior a prick, and he did so in his usual style. It's Drew. He's a prick. I don't know. What was it about the children watching? Didn't you say children are watching? Yeah, sorry about that. The host reacted as he laughed. To that, Punk continued speaking about how things to be more personal with them. It's uber personal with me and him. I think most of humanity doesn't like Logan Paul, and it's because he's a douche. You can just watch him and be like, yeah, okay, I don't like that guy. I don't like his face. I don't like his attitude. I don't like his broccoli haircut. CM Punk then shifted back to Drew McIntyre, where he gave a very direct public acknowledgement of those comments about AJ Lee, and even their dog Larry. When you cut that deep and make things personal, it will be hard for Punk to forgive that one without a few receipts. Drew McIntyre is just kind of a next level personal thing. Said some things about my wife and my dog, and I'm not really big into forgiving or forgetting, so He knows what I can do to him inside of a cage match, and I'm just excited that I get to do it again on Saturday. CM Punk doesn't really openly address the AJ Lee remarks that fueled the storyline tension between himself and Drew McIntyre. That being said, War Games should be very interesting. The current WWE World Heavyweight Champion is going to be in that match, and Drew McIntyre is on the heel side, even though he is currently suspended from WWE programming. Paul Heyman picked him for the match, so that was the storyline loophole to get him into the mix. CM Punk made it clear that for him, this situation is not about standard promotion. It involves personal lines he believes were crossed. With War Games approaching, Punk said the cage match gives him the chance to respond in his own way. The men's War Games match this year will feature Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso against Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, Bron Breakker, and Bronson Reed. ESPN president gives his honest opinion on WWE's partnership. WWE is in the middle of a huge uptick in their business. The company is driving in a ton of revenue, and we're only months away from the road to WrestleMania. ESPN brought a ton of new eyes to WWE as well, and they are very happy about how things are working out. In September, WWE and ESPN partnered to bring every WWE Premium Live event to the ESPN Unlimited platform. Fans will now have to tune in to that platform to watch the company's premium live events. Since the agreement started, WWE talent has appeared across ESPN programs to promote upcoming events. That cross-promotion is certainly something that everyone has benefited from, fans included. On the SI Media podcast with Jimmy Traina, ESPN President Burke Magnus was asked how the relationship is working so far. Naturally, with WrestleMania 42 around the corner in Las Vegas, things are certainly looking up. It's gone great so far. We're very familiar with Nick Khan and the team over there. We've had engagement with them for years in much smaller ways. They are fantastic to work with. They really hustle on behalf of their property. Those appearances don't just happen unless you have a league to make those people available. The superstars are highly engaged in promoting themselves, the broader WWE, and their stories. It's been really good so far. We're looking forward to WrestleMania this year, which would be our first. We've had 2 PLEs to date. One was in the Middle East, so it was on an off hour. WrestlePalooza was new. Survivor Series this weekend is going to be a really good measuring stick for how it's going. In terms of the interaction between the team at WWE and us, it's been great. WWE Survivor Series will stream on ESPN Unlimited this Saturday, November 29th. Fans will pack Petco Park in San Diego, California for the premium live event, but even more will tune in to see the action at home. We will have to see what is in the future for WWE's partnership with ESPN. At this point, there seems to be no downside to this enormous deal. What's your take on WWE and ESPN partnering up? Do you like the new ESPN setup for WWE? Or do you miss the WWE network for $9.99 a month? Backstage reaction to Brock Lesnar's embarrassing fall. Even Brock Lesnar isn't immune to gravity, and now we know what went down backstage after his unexpected slip on WWE Raw. During an appearance on the No Contest Wrestling podcast, Bronson Reed pulled back the curtain on Lesnar's viral entrance mishap from the November 24th episode of Raw. The Beast was making his trademark pyro pose entrance alongside Paul Heyman when he slipped on the ramp, tumbled to the ground, and instantly popped back up. The moment instantly became a meme online, but what happened after the cameras stopped rolling? Reed, who was in the ring at the time, didn't miss it, and neither did anyone else. I saw him slip and somehow back roll, get straight back to his feet. And in my mind, I was like, he's either going to laugh this off, which he seemed to do, he laughed it off, we got to business, or he's going to be very angry and all those guys in the ring are going to pay for it. Thankfully for everyone involved, Lesnar chose laughter. When asked about the mood backstage, Reed said it was surprisingly relaxed. Lesnar himself acknowledged the slip and suggested something was on the ramp, possibly left over from a previous entrance. Everyone was quite chill about it. I think Brock himself said it. He walked through the curtains and he had slipped on something. Drew said in his entrance he almost slipped. So I don't know if someone had wet their hair or some oil or something was out there on that entrance way. Reed admitted that if this had happened to almost anyone else, it could have killed their momentum on the spot. But Lesnar? He turned a fall into a flex. If that was someone else and they slipped, they'd probably fall on their ass and that'd be it. People wouldn't engage anymore from there. But because it's Brock Lesnar, he almost back-rolled and got straight back to his feet, took his cowboy hat off, and you knew, oh, he's still going to beat the hell out of people. Even when he wipes out, Lesnar stays terrifying. And according to Reed, if a slip had to happen to anyone, it might as well be to the scariest guy in the building. Do you think Brock handled his Raw fall like a pro, or would it have ruined the moment if it were anyone else? Drop your take in the comments and let us know if the Beast is still untouchable after hitting the floor. Paul Heyman was at his side the whole time, and he has finally been able to address the situation on ESPN First Take. Actually, I think it is a GOAT greatest of all time move. And the reason why I think it is a GOAT move is because we all fumble at some point in the game. We all do. There's no such thing as someone who doesn't fumble in life. Brock Lesnar turned a fumble into a touchdown just like that. He is the Beast. There's no one like him. He's one of one. Look at that. Boom. There was water on the entranceway. Slips, falls, rolls through, comes up, and there he is, smiling and coming down to the ring for war. Who else could do that but Brock Lesnar? Roman Reigns is jealous of Paul Heyman, former undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Roman Reigns is one of the biggest names in the professional wrestling world. However, a popular star recently claimed that the OTC is jealous of him. WWE Hall of Famer Paul Heyman made an appearance on ESPN's First Take. The Oracle was there to advertise the upcoming Survivor Series, War Games' premium live event. During the conversation, he was asked why Roman Reigns did not like him. The former wiseman to the tribal chief claimed that it was because of jealousy. Staying true to his heel character, Paul Heyman stated that he walked around as the greatest of all time, something that sports analyst Stephen A. Smith wanted to be. He added that it made Reigns jealous and envious of him. It's just a matter of jealousy. When you walk around life as the GOAT, when you walk around life as the one man on the planet that Stephen A. Smith wishes he could be, even the tribal chief Roman Reigns will be jealous and envious of you, Heyman said. During his appearance on a recent edition of Stephanie McMahon's What's Your Story podcast, Paul Heyman explained how Brock Lesnar's on-screen character was different from the tribal chief. The 60-year-old stated that Brock Lesnar's character lacked depth, as it was intentionally made one-dimensional. On the other hand, Reigns' character was well-layered. He opined that watching the tribal chief's development was breathtaking. Brock Lesnar we never explored the depth of the character. Brock's character is intentionally very one-dimensional, but the tribal chief wasn't. What made the tribal chief so different is that on very strategic times we presented layers. Every time you thought you understood the tribal chief Roman Reigns, we showed you something different. That's what made that character so breathtaking to watch develop in front of your very eyes, Heyman said. Paul Heyman has united with Brock Lesnar heading into WWE Survivor Series War Games. It will be intriguing to see if their team can win the men's War Games match this Saturday. Paul Heyman turns on the vision. WWE Survivor Series. War Games is right around the corner, and fans have been waiting for the massive action to unfold in the unforgiving match. While both teams look stacked with some of the biggest names in the industry, some massive twists could be in the works, changing the landscape of the teams as well. One of them could be Paul Heyman betraying his vision to align with the 48-year-old legend Brock Lesnar. Such a move would undoubtedly turn the entire storyline upside down, making things even more intriguing ahead of the road to WrestleMania. Let's look at a few signs that hint at Heyman aligning with Lesnar soon. Bron Breakker betrayed Seth Rollins with a purpose, which was to get to the top as the focal point of the Red brand, which included a chase for the biggest prize available, the World Heavyweight Championship. However, ahead of the build to Survivor Series, Breakker seems to have lost his quest for the title. Throughout the build for the battle, Heyman has brought superstars into his team, all of them having their stature above Breakker. Further, bringing Brock Lesnar into the mix completely halts Breakker's quest for the title, as history in the company clearly shows that Lesnar doesn't stay away from the world title for long. Breakker isn't showcased as someone hunting the title anymore, which seems to be a big sign that Paul Heyman might be moving away from him. Brock Lesnar's return to WWE is still one of the most shocking ones this year, and fans have still not been able to get the roar of the arena during his comeback out of their mind. At WrestlePalooza, the Beast battled his first match following his return, against his longtime rival, John Cena. While the match ended in Lesnar's favor, a major twist at the start stole all the headlines. As the ring announcer was introducing the match, Paul Heyman came out to introduce his former client, Brock Lesnar, which was one of the biggest teases that both men had been working together again. That moment could be connected to a potential twist at WWE Survivor Series, possibly leading to Heyman aligning with Lesnar yet again. During Raw's final face-off ahead of War Games, Team Vision came face-to-face with Team CM Punk after winning the massive advantage match for WWE Survivor Series. However, the former were one man short, as Brock Lesnar hadn't made his appearance till then. When the Beast made his entrance, he was accompanied by his former advocate Paul Heyman, which caught a lot of attention. Heyman accompanying Lesnar during his entrance instead of making his appearance along with Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed is one of the biggest signs that hint at Wiseman's potential betrayal of the vision to align with Lesnar. Fans will have to wait and see what WWE has in store for the stars next.